Hey friends, this is Jennifer Anderson with Uptown Common. Today we're talking about relationship versus sales. If you've spent much time talking with me about our business or our artisan market that we organize, you've probably heard me say that we purposely prioritize relationships over everything else. We believe 100% that it's the best way to build a long-term successful business, and we believe that you will have phenomenal success if you do this as well. There are a ton of different sales methods out there. There's lots of books, there's YouTube channels, all sorts of different resources to learn about different sales methods from different people's perspectives, and they include some excellent ideas. If deep diving into that is interesting to you, then go for it. For everyone else, I'll make it super simple for you. Shoppers are people. People like feeling valued, and people will remember and return to the people who made them feel valued. It's not that complicated. It is easy though to add more to this simple idea because of our own fears or insecurities, or maybe because what you've been taught previously, but resist the temptation to do that. If you've already got yourself tangled, and a lot of people are, we see this, a lot of people are nervous or anxious, have anxiety about interacting with their customers, spend time untangling from those ideas, and I have some thoughts that might help you do that. It's no surprise, right, that shoppers at markets or really anywhere do not want to be pressure sold. So it's really smart to avoid those kinds of sales tactics. But we see vendors lumping all sales that don't just somehow happen without them being involved in other than in the final transaction of taking their payment into the same bucket as pressure sales. In order to avoid, in their mind, in order to avoid being one of those people, they sit there like a bump on a log, which is the total opposite other end of the spectrum on this discussion, and is also not what shoppers want, and ironically has the same effect of turning people away and does not increase sales. So they're trying to avoid doing something that turns people away and decreases sales, going to the other extreme, causing the same problem. So is there middle ground? Yes. Be friendly and authentic. If you're not a bubbly or outgoing person, don't pretend to be. Just be who you are. Be genuinely interested in the shoppers in and around your booth. Make eye contact with them. Say hi. Give them a compliment, or if you see that they could use an extra hand for a second, help them. When they enter your booth, remember who they are. Observe something about them. You've made eye contact with them already, so hopefully that helps give you some characteristics, so when you see them again, you might recognize them. And maybe remember a small detail or two about any previous interaction you've had with them. Explain who you are and any unique details that you think would be helpful for them to know about your product, so that they have context, proper context, when they're looking at your things. Then leave them alone. I mean, this is when you don't want to be a bump on a log here, but this is when you do step away. Maybe you tidy up a display on the other end of your booth. Maybe you start talking to somebody else while they're looking, but keep your ears open in case they have questions, and observe what they gravitate towards. So you can mention it maybe before they leave your booth if it's not weird, if there's an opportunity to do so, or if they come back, you can take the relationship to the next level and say, hey, I thought you were looking at this, or did you come back to see it again? Can I answer any questions for you? That makes the relationship stronger because they feel seen and valued, because there's all these people at this market and you remembered them and being in your booth and what they were looking at. Also, if shoppers are talking with their friends, maybe in your booth or right outside your booth, and you hear them say something that is incorrect about your product, Or if they ask you directly something that is incorrect, let them know. For example, I make plant hangers to fit a specific pot, and there's no exceptions on that. So when someone's in our booth, they are buying what they see. The plant hanger and the pot together is one piece. People will ask me for just the plant hanger because they already have a pot, and that's a logical thing to think of, but I'm gonna say no because that's not how I do it. And sometimes they're disappointed or upset because I won't just sell them a plant hanger. But then I explain that if they're guessing and their pot is too large, their pot at home is too large or too small, it's going to be unstable in the plant hanger and potentially fall out. And also, it's not going to look like what they're seeing. You know, if it's too big or too small, it's going to squeeze, it's not going to look right. And so there's a high potential for them to be disappointed with the plant hanger when it's not the plant hanger's fault, it's the pot. So we just avoid that altogether. Pots come with plant hangers, and that's just how it is. Once I explain that, sometimes people still think it's ridiculous and that I'm just being difficult. Others are very appreciative that I didn't just sell them something that may not work like they imagine just so I can make money. And I would rather be upfront than have a frustrated customer later. So it maintains my personal integrity and also the integrity of our brand. And in case you all think I'm crazy for losing a sale, like why not just sell them the plant hanger if they want it, who cares? I always offer to make a plant hanger to specifically fit the pot they have in mind. So it's always a possibility. I just need the dimensions of the pot and I can do it for them. So, do you have any thoughts on relationships versus sales? Have you gotten tangled up and made it more complicated maybe than it needs to be? Did you have any eye-opening moments about these topics? Let us know in the comments and we'll see you next time.